Hey, good morning. This is Mayor Valensky with Driving Markets. Driving while talking about markets. Slightly changed the screen, so I would like some feedback on what you think of the actual setup of the presentation. All right, so today we're going to discuss some geopolitical issues that could impact financial markets. They're there. They're not being discussed on this channel. A lot of the time what's discussed is inflation, economics and interest rates and the dollar and cryptos and general market input for day traders. But we'll have to look at some potential geopolitical issues that are going to impact markets so you can be prepared for them and know how to act going forward. Now, a couple of things I need to be absolutely clear on and make you aware of. Long-term investments, as is well known throughout decades, the longer you hold on to the investments, eventually you will make money. You can't always catch the ups and the downs, so the longer you hold out of it, you ride out the ups and downs on the investments, and eventually you will make money. This channel is focused on not long-term investments, which is a great way to invest, and everyone should secure the future in having long-term investments. When I say long-term, we're talking about 20 years, 25 years, 30-year investments, whether it's your US 401k, whether it's a UK pension or a mutual fund, investment fund, unit trusts, whatever type of fund that you set up, ETF, then a long-term will always ride out the storm. So I want to make that clear, that is the best way to invest in the future. However, there's many people want to trade on a daily basis or a weekly basis or monthly basis, and this channel is focused on those particular traders where they want to trade on a regular basis, and whether this trading is done through foreign exchange or through cryptos or through shares or through bonds or through commodities or any other type of asset. This channel is built for that. Okay, that's the idea of this channel. It's called Driving Markets because I'm driving while talking about markets, even though many viewers are very worried about me driving at the moment. I'm stationary, that's why I'm looking direct into the camera, but the idea is that it is a play on names, driving while talking about markets. Okay, right, so a couple of geopolitical issues, or quite a few, that we need to look at. The obvious one is the Russia-Ukraine war. Now, that's been going on for more than a year, had a massive impact when it first started on commodities and on the dollar and on equities. There was an uncertainty at the time if Russia was going to invade Ukraine, but I did state clearly that no army masses on the border of another country just to withdraw, and lo and behold, they invaded back in February 2022, and they're still there, and that war is going to continue until further notice. When I say further notice, probably for another 12 months in my opinion, until Russia gets some strategic, and its opinion, strategic successes that it can show its people and the world, this is what we've done. Okay, now Russia has just put missiles into Belarus. Belarus is one of the affiliates, associates with Russia, and that could be deemed as an immediate geopolitical threat. Also, Finland has joined NATO and Sweden's going to join NATO, and Russia is seeing that as a threat, and they're not going to let these threats just go by quietly. What could potentially happen is a misfired missile or a misfiring of some ordnance could set off a local conflict. Now, if, for example, Belarus or Finland or Sweden or Poland were to get involved, then you're talking about cataclysmic events that could happen. Okay, that's potentially one. The other one is China. Now, China has gone into cahoots with Saudi Arabia and Iran. Now, Iran is very close to building a nuclear bomb, and Iran's not building a nuclear bomb for defensive reasons. It's building a nuclear bomb for offensive reasons, probably to attack Israel and then build longer-term range interballistic missiles to the level of North Korea, which we'll discuss in a second, in order to threaten the world and put out its ideology. Internally, Iran has major problems with the hijab protests, and that's obviously internally that could cause an implosion of the regime within Tehran or within Iran. It may, but they're suppressing it at the moment. Just recently, they've put cameras on all of the street corners and on the shopping malls to keep an eye on those women who are not conforming to their modesty standards and wearing a hijab. Now, the US nuclear submarine has been placed off or close to Iran because there is a major intelligence report that Iran is planning some attack in the Middle East, and the Americans have put a submarine there in order to intimidate and warn Iran not to take any particular action. So you've got geopolitical situation where war could kick off in the Middle East between Iran, Syria and Israel, and obviously pull in Lebanon, and that would be a major conflagration that would impact the price of oil and obviously have an impact on commodities and equity markets if there was a Middle East war. The next one we need to look at geopolitical is North Korea. Now, North Korea is not happy with the present exercises taking place in South Korea, joint exercises with the US forces. And North Korea sees that as a threat, even though the US and South Korea are not threatening North Korea, they're just doing joint annual exercises. North Korea said that if these exercises continue, then they are going to launch an offensive campaign against South Korea and the US forces, including potential interballistic missiles to the US. Kim Jong-un is particularly unstable. He's starving his people to death, and therefore there is a geopolitical issue there as far as North Korea and South Korea is concerned. There is also another issue regarding China. China is supplying and taking equipment from Iran, but also they're looking to see if they can grab their hands on Taiwan. All of this stems from a very weak Biden-Kamala Harris government in the US. There's no real authority there, and therefore that is projecting a sign of weakness globally in the geopolitical field, and would have a major impact on financial markets. So geopolitically, you've got to look at Russia, Ukraine, China, Taiwan, China, Iran, Iran, Russia, which is supplying drones to Russia. So you've got a few major issues there within, and obviously Iran, Israel, Hezbollah, Israel, etc. You've got quite a lot of geopolitical issues that would impact markets. The probability is something is going to kick off somewhere, whether it's going to be in Iran or Russia, Ukraine, Belarus, Finland, Sweden, not too sure, but something's going to kick off. It's not all doom and gloom, but there is very little control by the President of the US, Joe Biden, that suffers from dementia. He doesn't really know what's going on. So the geopolitical issues will impact financial markets. As regards financial markets globally today, Europe is closed, UK is closed, US is open, Asia just reopened now after a long weekend. The US is showing slightly down on the day. The futures are slightly down, so there could be a correction going to happen likely today or tomorrow. Overall, my view is that markets are overbought and need to be sold off. As very quickly recap, as far as Bitcoin is concerned and cryptocurrencies, they look like they want, or Bitcoin looks like it wants to get to the 30,000 level, but it's struggling. It's about 28 and a half. Something's going to happen soon. Either it's going to go down or it's going to go up, but that's Bitcoin because it's binary. As regards oil, you can expect oil to go up. If there's any kickoff of the geopolitical situation or crisis, then oil will go through the roof, and so will gold. Gold is ticked off a little bit to below $2,000 an ounce, but I don't expect it to stay there. I do expect it to go up above 2,000 again in the near future. That's it for now. So it's more of a general conversation today. This is Mayor Valensky with Driving Markets. Remember to subscribe. You can share, you can comment. I also have a Instagram account and TikTok, and speak to you soon. Have a good day.